कर्नाटका का ये क्षेत्र अपनी परंपरा, संस्कृति और ज्ञान के लिए प्रसिद्ध है। यहां की अनेक विभूतियों को ज्ञानपीठ पुरस्कार से सम्मानित किया गया है। इस क्षेत्र ने देश को एक से बढ़कर एक महान संगीतकार दिए हैं। पंडित कुमार गंधर्व, पंडित बसवराज राजगुरु, पंडित मल्लिकार्जुन मानसोर, भारत रत्न पंडित भीमसेन जोशी और पंडिता गंगूबाई हंगल जी को मैं आज हुबली की धरती पर आकर नमन करते हुए अपनी श्रद्धांजलि देता हूं। युवा की जीवटता क्या होती है, उसके हौसले कैसे मौत को भी मात दे सकते हैं, ये कर्नाटका के सपूत लांस नायक हनुमन थप्पा खोपड़ ने सियाचिन के पहाड़ों में दिखा दिया था। -55 डिग्री तापमान में भी वो 6 दिन तक मौत से मुकाबला करते रहे थे और वहां से जिंदा निकल करके आए थे। इन एवरी डोमेन a strong foundation has been laid in the last 8-9 years. The runway is ready. The runway is ready for your takeoff. Today, there is a great optimism in the world towards India and its youth. This optimism is about you. This optimism is because of you.
The public events, road shows, campaigns, rallies are all going to become very, very frequent now as the day gets closer to the election in Karnataka. But while the Prime Minister was in Hubballi today, viewer, former Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa's absence from the event has set tongues wagging. People are wondering, has he been shaded out or sidelined once again? It happened recently. There was another event involving the biggies of the BJP where Mr. Yediyurappa was not invited, and then later the party had a change of heart and invited him. Is the Lingayat strongman being sidelined in some way? The BJP cited protocol, saying the state leadership wasn't invited because it was a central government event and only government leaders were invited. But while the BJP battles internal differences, the Congress too, remember, is struggling with its own leadership crisis.
He is a stalwart in Karnataka's politics. He is the architect of several BJP wins and the biggest Lingayat face in Karnataka. B.S. Yediyurappa's legacy in Karnataka politics can never be ignored. And yet the BJP seems to have chosen not just to sideline, but also snub BSY again and again and again. But the latest snub is perhaps the most insulting. No invite has been extended to B.S. Yediyurappa for Prime Minister Modi's Hubballi visit. And it's not just Yediyurappa, but also former CM Jagdish Shettar, who is a Hubballi strongman. It isn't the first time that a no invite to Yediyurappa has set tongues wagging. Just weeks ago, the absence of the senior leader from Amit Shah's Mandya rally raised eyebrows. The who's who of BJP's Karnataka leadership was there, but not Yediyurappa, who even hails from Mandya. It's become a habit of sorts. A central BJP leader touches down and Yediyurappa goes missing. The Karnataka BJP has been firefighting these rumours for some time now. When BJP chief JP Nadda visited Koppal in December, Yediyurappa wasn't invited and reportedly expressed his displeasure, prompting a last-minute personal invite from the state unit. But BSY has time and again quelled all this talk, saying all is well.
ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಯನ್ನು ಹಗಲು ರಾತ್ರಿ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಬೆಳೆಸಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿರುವಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಒಬ್ಬ ಪ್ರಮುಖ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುವಂಥ ಸಂಗತಿ. ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಈ ಥರ ಮಾತುಗಳು ಹೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಆ ಥರ ಯಾವುದೇ ಪ್ರಸಂಗ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಟ್ಟಾಗಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಒಗ್ಗಟ್ಟಾಗಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಒಂದಾಗಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಏಕೈಕ ಗುರಿ ಬರುವಂಥ ದಿವಸಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಜೆಪಿನ ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ತರುವುದು.
CM Basavaraj Bommai too has attempted damage control, saying there was no question of his predecessor being sidelined.
ಅದು ಶುದ್ಧ ಸುಳ್ಳು. ಸರ್ವೋಚ್ಚ ನಾಯಕರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಮುಂದಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅವರ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ನಮಗಿದೆ. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಡ್ಡಾಜಿಯವರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದು ತಂದೆ ಮಗನ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇದೆ. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ಯಾವುದೇ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಊಹೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರು ನಿರಾಶೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
But the worry for the Karnataka BJP is also the rumblings within.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನಸಂಪರ್ಕ ಸಭೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಯಡಿಯೂರಪ್ಪನವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಈಗ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಮಟ್ಟದ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿನೂ ಇದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಷದ ವರಿಷ್ಠ ನಾಯಕರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಡಿಯೂರಪ್ಪನವರು ಕೂಡ ಒಬ್ರು. ಆ ಥರದ್ದು ಯಾವುದೂ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಿನ್ನೆ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಬೊಮ್ಮಾಯಿ ಅವರೇ ಕರೆದ್ರು. ಯಡಿಯೂರಪ್ಪನವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ನಾನು 2 ಜನರಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು.
ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಭಾವಿಕವಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಭಿನ್ನಾಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ ಇರೋದೇನು ವಿಶೇಷ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಿಜೆಪಿಲೂ ಇದೆ.
All this talk of dissent within the BJP ranks has the Congress rubbing its hands in glee. The grand old party has been plagued by the infighting, courtesy the DK Sidda tussle, and is now making the most of this development.
Law Minister Madhuswamy has very clearly said, this is not a government, we are a management company, we are just killing our time and managing people. So much of discord, so much of misunderstanding, so much of groupism. Mr. Yediyurappa is looking other way, Ishwarappa is looking other way, Jagdish Shettar is already been finished. Mr. Bommai is just killing his time and doing whatever needs to be done. So this is not a government, this is a circus. This party is not united.
The Karnataka BJP fighting anti-incumbency and struggling with a lack of strong faces is already facing an uphill battle this election season. Can they really afford to sideline a politically powerful man like B.S. Yediyurappa? With Nagarjun Dwarkanath in Hubballi, Bureau Report, India Today.
The question now is, all is not well within the BJP in Karnataka, all is not well with the Congress in Karnataka. The campaign has begun and the fight is in sight. The election happens in April and May this year, and now is being seen as one of the big semi-finals on the road to 2024. Remember, 2023 is a year that is full of big state elections, starting with Karnataka. And if it is as exciting and as tantalizing as it was in 2018, then we really have a fight on our hands covering this election. Joining me live on this big story, Dr. Sandeep Shastri, political scientist, Vice Chancellor of the Juggernaut, Lake City University, one of the most astute observers of politics, especially in Karnataka. Aishwarya Mahadev of the Congress will be joining us in just a moment. Captain Ganesh Karnik, spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP, Brijesh Kalapa, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, and TM Veeraraghav, senior journalist and columnist. Thank you all, gentlemen, for joining me. Aishwarya will be with us in just a moment. Dr. Shastri, starting with you, very simple question. The Prime Minister was there today. Are we making too much out of Mr. Yediyurappa not being invited? We've heard we've heard a lot about, rumors of him being sidelined, all not quite well within the Karnataka BJP, that it is, it's a kind of listless leadership that's there heading into this election. We also know that on the other side, in the opposition, there's this very public feud playing out between DK Shivakumar and Mrs. Siddaramaiah. In your view, who do you think is more battle ready at this time? Only 3 months to go, sir.
Great question. I think in the BJP, what you clearly see happening is the central leadership taking total control of the way the campaign goes.
Yeah.
Let's remember, this is the 4th major event Mr. Modi has done in Karnataka in recent times. And even in the past, he has been the center of what has been happening, and other leaders have not been focused. Please remember also, in the previous 3 occasions when he spoke, not once did he refer to the chief minister of the state. So I think there is a very clear pattern emerging of the BJP making the prime minister the center of their campaign, because they believe, as their strategy seems to be, that one way of maintaining the unity of the party is place the prime minister at the center of the campaign. And I think what you see happening today is very clearly an indication of that. On the other hand, as you rightly said, the Congress too faces a challenge of multiple leaders, each seeking to be the chief minister, of course, assuming that they would be able to get their party to power. And therefore, you don't have a declaration of chief minister, remember, on either side of the spectrum. So both parties are going in to this election without clearly naming their chief minister candidate, and both have a strategy clearly in place of being able to garner votes. BJP in the name of its central leadership, and the Congress in terms of a collective leadership which it has at the state level. I think the party which is going to be at an advantage and leading the battle would be the one which is able to contain its internal contradictions in a more better way. That party is likely to be in a better position. This will be determined by how much the BJP is able to rally around the Prime Minister, and how does the Congress ticket distribution happen, and what is the level of dissatisfaction that emerges there. These are 2 critical points for me as I look at Karnataka.
Which party, that's the critical question, which of these 2 parties is able to contain its internal differences in a more tactful manner so that it doesn't really affect the actual mobilization during the campaign. Veera Raghav, same question to you. Who do you think at this stage appears to be more battle ready? Because the one thing I think we can all agree on is that all is not well on both sides of the fence.
Well, I think there is an effort on both sides to send out that things are okay in the outside, to the outside world in terms of optics. But I think deep down the worries exist on both sides. I think the real test will be when ticket distribution happens. And I think that's what Dr. Shastri was referring to. I couldn't hear him clearly, neither am I able to hear you clearly. But as far as the question of Yediyurappa is concerned, Shiv, I think you talk to any reporter who has gone and attended the Jan Sarkap Yatras in the state, and you will gather that it is only when Yediyurappa speaks that you have that massive crowd response. So I think the BJP, while wanting to say that this election is not about Yediyurappa because they want to move forward, I don't think there is a single leader in the BJP, even amongst those who oppose Yediyurappa, who are unaware of the importance of Yediyurappa. Frankly, if Yediyurappa is not going to pull, go with the party, and if there is going to be rebellion at the grassroots from Yediyurappa, I think the BJP may have lost the race even before it started. Same with the Congress. If there is going to be a battle before, at the time of ticket distribution, I think they've lost the race before it started. But given that the BJP is fighting anti-incumbency, and it's a tough election for the BJP, at the moment it seems like the scales are in favor of the Congress if they have a cohesive campaign around there. They really need Yediyurappa. So I don't think there is an effort to slight him. And I don't think from his point of view, given that his son's political future is at stake, he is going to upset the BJP beyond a point. This is not the same man who walked out of the party at one time. He can't rebel beyond a point. The ultimate test for both sides will be ticket distribution. If there is no internal sabotage, whether in the Congress or the BJP, I think that's what everyone will be looking for. I think it's going to be a tough battle as we see it evolve.
Very interesting. Veera Raghav says that as things stand right now, the advantage appears to be with the Congress party because the BJP is fighting an anti-incumbency. Captain Karnik, I want to come to you on those, on the issue of Yediyurappa. Veera Raghav made a very interesting point. He said he doesn't think it's an issue at this point of time. It's going to come down to ticket distribution. But there have been mixed signals. There is a perception that he's being sidelined. There was a recent event in which he was not invited. Then there was an afterthought and he was invited. There is a perception also that he's the real crowd puller over there. What's going on vis-a-vis Mr. Yediyurappa?
Thank you for inviting me on this
from
panel discussion, and good evening to Mr. Veera Raghavan as well as Dr. Sandeep Shastri. I agree with their observations totally. And within the party, we are all very clear that he is the tallest leader in Karnataka state, not only in BJP, cutting across all parties put together. And we know his importance and we look at him reverentially, actually. And this particular reference that you made in the beginning as we were talking, that he's being sidelined, he's being delayed. He himself has said it, you only depicted it. He has no confusion. He says, I will go around the state and ensure that BJP will come to power with its majority. He's talking of 150 seats. So I think the speculation and guesswork that you have been doing, it is giving you good amount of points for discussion. But within the party, like any other political party, there can be minor differences. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that he's being sidelined. That doesn't mean that he's being overlooked. We have no confusion. Party leadership in the center has no confusion. Mr. Yediyurappa himself has no confusion. But you want to make a news of no news. Today's function is attendance. He himself has said, I could not make it.
But he didn't say it the last time.
He has said it very clearly.
No, I take your point. I take your point, Captain Karnik. Yeah, yes. I'm the last one who's going to defend the media when we say that we make stories. But the fact is, there are political movements that can be read into things. I covered the 2018 election as well. There were so many things that happened with Mr. Yediyurappa at that time, which spoke a very, very different story. But welcoming Aishwarya Mahadev also onto our coverage. Aishwarya, good to see you. The Yediyurappa factor is something that the Congress party has attacked frequently. You're constantly pointing a finger at the BJP and saying, make up your mind. Are you moving on from him? Are you not moving on from him? So it's not just the media. The Congress makes quite a meal of it as well. And as Dr. Sandeep Shastri said, it's going to come down to which of your parties can better manage the internal differences. Now, don't say there are no internal differences in the Congress, Aishwarya.
First and foremost, Shiv, I think whether internal differences or any sort of dissent within the party, the Congress party has always been very equipped to handle it. And I think the leadership here and the question of leadership in my state, I think Mr. DK Shivkumar and the other leaders are extremely, extremely positive that their only priority now is to bring the party to power for this state, and then everything can be decided. And, a lot of people would like to speculate and make it bigger than it is, especially the BJP, because it obviously offers for a distraction from the fact that things in their own house is not in order. And for us, we will sort it out. We will fix it out because, Shiv, let's look at the track that we're on. Not only have we started touring the state, we've also started giving you assurances. Our manifesto process is underway. Our large-scale consultation processes are going on. And I think the Congress party is very well equipped at this point. Mr. Yediyurappa, mind you, you cannot walk away from it. And Captain Karnik is extremely right, because the man in 2013 decided to wreak havoc with KJP and you lost over 30 of your seats then. You also realize, yes, there's somebody who said, he has to worry about his son's future. But I think this is the same son that speaks out and says, do not forget Yediyurappa, do not ignore him, because you know what he's capable of. And today, the fact that you do not call two former chief ministers of a community that you rely on for a majority of your votes and your MLAs smacks larger rot than the BJP is willing to acknowledge, and loving that Modi ji could overcome the flaws of the 5 years of government.
Okay. We're just trying to correct that line with Aishwarya. Aishwarya, I missed the last 10 seconds of what you said, but you're basically saying that the BJP not inviting B.S. Yediyurappa and Jagdish Shettar to the two Lingayat leaders to this event today, smacks of something bigger. But I'll come back to that point in just a moment. But since you mentioned the assurances that the Congress put out today as part of the Yatra kicked off by the state leadership, bringing in Brajesh Kalapa, of the Aam Aadmi Party. He used to be with the Congress Party, is now with the Aam Aadmi Party. Brajesh, your party is, had larger plans, I imagine, for Karnataka, before the Gujarat result. I'm assuming they've been scaled down a little bit. Even so, your party has taken a big pot shot at the Congress Party today, saying they're basically influenced by us, they're copying us, they've promised 200 units of electricity. This is the Aam Aadmi Party model. Brajesh?
Yeah, Shiv, it's like this. Yeah, it's like this that both the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress Party have been, copying essentially the Aam Aadmi Party's basic credo. And if the Aam Aadmi Party stands for anything, it stands for 5 things. One, it stands for free electricity, it stands for free water, stands for free education, top quality education, good health facility, and free transport for women. Right, so the BJP has stolen from the Congress, from the Aam Aadmi Party, the schools and the Namma clinics and so on and so forth. And now it's the turn of the Congress Party. But ultimately, I think the people realize that while imitation is the best form of flattery, I think people will ultimately think and vote for the original rather than the duplicate. Now, after having said that, the fact that Mr. Yediyurappa has not attended both Mr. Amit Shah's rally and the present rally of the Prime Minister, I think certainly raises eyebrows, because Mr. Yediyurappa's non-presence is definitely going to be noticed. It's not something which people don't easily notice.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, it's something which definitely will be noticed. And one must accept, whether one likes it or not, that Yediyurappa certainly is angry. For what reason? That's best known to the BJP, because he shed tears and he said certain things. And, in the run-up to elections, the more Mr. Yediyurappa is angry, the worse off it's going to be for the BJP.
Okay, I'm going to, because this goes against what Mr. Veeraraghav said about Yediyurappa not really having a problem with what's going on right now. I want to investigate that a little bit more. But before that, let me just play out a report on these assurances. Aishwarya, I'm going to come to you right after this report, so you have a chance to respond to Brajesh on the spat that kind of broke out today in Karnataka, unusually between the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party. The Aam Aadmi Party is a minor / non-player in Karnataka as things stand right now, but this is a party that's always punched above its weight. But that's not the focus. It's about what was assured today. Watch this report and then we go back to our guests.
Billo 000 irtade. Bill will be 0 200 unit vargu.
Politics escalate over freebies in Karnataka. With assembly elections drawing closer in the state, political parties are wooing voters by promising sops. The Congress, for instance, has taken up the Aam Aadmi Party model that took Arvind Kejriwal's party to power in Delhi and Punjab. The grand old party is promising free electricity to all.
So, ಮೊದಲು ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಪ್ರಜಾಧ್ವನಿಯ ಮೊದಲನೆಯ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ 200 ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ. ಬಿಲ್ಲೆಸ್ ಪ್ರತಿ ತಿಂಗಳು ಬಿಲ್ಲು 000 ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಬಿಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ 0 200 ಯೂನಿಟ್ ವರೆಗೂ.
Karnataka Congress President D.K. Shivakumar made the promise while launching the bus rally in Belagavi, which kicked off his party's election campaign. Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai has described this act of Congress as a sign of desperation.
It is irresponsible, irrational decisions. They are desperate. That's why they are announcing. Many more such announcements are expected from Congress. That shows how lowest level are there in the electoral race.
Congress is a bankrupt party. They will keep on announcing these kind of things which they can never deliver, because they are never going to come to power. So they will promise the moon and honestly try and misguide the people. People of Karnataka are very, very wise. They know which is the party for development, which will actually take care of their interest.
Aam Aadmi Party has hit out at the Congress, calling it copycat.
Yesterday they made an announcement. For many years now they have been laughing at the various schemes of the Aam Aadmi Party, saying that we give everything free. But now they understand that the people are on the side of the Aam Aadmi Party. They are trying to bribe the people by copying the Aam Aadmi Party.
How effective are freebies in winning elections is debatable. Both Congress and Aam Aadmi Party recently lost Gujarat miserably despite offering many sobs. Bureau Report, India Today.
Before we go back to the Yediyurappa factor and internal differences between the two parties, Aishwarya, giving you a chance to respond to what Brajesh said about the Congress and the BJP basically inspired by the Aam Aadmi Party model.
You know, Shiv, Brajesh Kalapa is absolutely right, because before the Aam Aadmi Party came to power, there were no hospitals, there were no schools, there were no PHCs, and there was absolutely no development until this obviously gift of God turned up in Delhi, and after that everybody's been copying them. It's absolutely ludicrous to sit and say somebody invented a scheme for schools and clean water and whatnot, because it's an affront to every other government that has previously been there. Yes, the Aam Aadmi Party packages it and sells it very well, while the efficacy of all these schools and the mohalla clinics are something that we can have a different debate on. But let me come down to one singular fact about this idea of freebies. And you know, Bommai talks about it being desperate and sad and whatnot. If that was the case, why was it that they promised 10 hours of free running power to all farmers in their manifesto, 99% of which they haven't even completed or even given or fulfilled because they're too mired in corruption? Let's get down to the math of this. I think today's day and age, this is not a freebie, it's a necessity. Given the rise in cost of daily commodities, we cannot as a state control things like fuel prices without obviously hitting the exchequer. But there is one man that has thought about this scheme, and he's the most equipped to do it. Before he became power minister, he basically inherited a ministry that had a deficit and was basically running losses.
Okay.
Mr. D.K. Shivkumar is the man who, as power minister, gave you a surplus. He not only gave you off-grids, captive power plants and bought in solar plant, he basically reduced transmission loss to a cost that was unprecedented anywhere in the country. And today, if Mr. D.K. Shivkumar tells you that he can give you 200 free units of power, rest assured the man will deliver. And the Congress party does not make promises like the BJP that are not founded on any merit or metric. We're the party that has governed and delivered. And today, if the Congress party promises you something, we will keep up that promise. Unlike the BJP that hasn't fulfilled 90% of its manifesto promises. And the AAP, the less said, the better. Like really, they're coming out thinking they're somebody. We'll wait for the election results and then we'll talk about it.
I like how specific this entire debate and this campaign is getting, but I just want to zoom out for the last few minutes of this discussion and go back to Dr. Sandeep Shastri. You know, we've spoken about the freebies and, you know, ticket distribution, internal differences. Dr. Shastri, we do know that internal rebellions have been part and parcel of Karnataka politics. We've seen them in the Congress party. We've seen them in the BJP. As things stand right now, you know, we've spoken about battle readiness. Which side do you think is more vulnerable or susceptible to internal rebellions, which could have an impact on the next few months, sir?
I think both parties have chinks in their armor. The two major parties, they both have chinks in their armor. And how much is their opponent able to exploit it would be critical. And I think for BJP, the key factor would be how are you going to keep Mr. BSY on your side and active? And for the Congress, it would be how would you keep the two key leaders, Mr. Shiv Kumar and Mr. Siddaramaiah, in such a way that neither of them, in a sense, would do something which impacts on the unity of the party. A small point on this freebies. I think it's important to understand the fact that the voter in Karnataka and elsewhere in the country is not enamored by freebies but is enamored by what governments have performed on the ground. If Aam Aadmi Party did well in Punjab, it did not do it over one election, but did it over 2 elections, where you demonstrated on the ground the way that you interact with the people. In the past, simply announcing a freebie by a party does not bring it electoral dividends. Okay. What we have seen is voters look at what has actually happened on the ground when you were earlier in power, and whether the welfare schemes you talked about were actually implemented. So simply declaring a freebie by anybody, be it the Congress, BJP, AAP or anyone, does not really take you anywhere, because the voter is looking at what was delivered actually on the ground.
Brajesh, quick word from you and then I'll finish with Veera Raghav. Brajesh, you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, just to point out, Shiv, that promising freebies is one thing, but actually delivering it takes a lot of what you call corruption-free government to actually fulfill that. Because there is this kind of seepage when there is massive corruption is something which eats into the very fact that these freebies can actually be delivered and can't actually be delivered. I think the fact that these kind of this extreme seepage from government through corruption is essentially why governments can't afford to give freebies, and why exactly the Aam Aadmi can actually give freebies and actually pull it off. I think this is the essential difference between the Aam Aadmi Party and other political parties.
Zooming out once again for that last word from Veera Raghav. Veera Raghav, since both you and Dr. Shastri mentioned ticket distribution, that it's going to come down to that. For those of us on the outside, what are those red flags within ticket distribution that you're going to be looking at, both these parties are going to be looking at, to get that entire formula right? What are the things that could go wrong?
Sorry, Shiv. Again, your voice was very mumbled, so I wasn't able to get your question. I think quick 2 points. I will just say that Aam Aadmi Party is still a very, very far away from being a politically important force in Karnataka, so you can leave that aside. I think the real key challenge, the key factor will be, according to me, the BJP, if everything goes together, if the party is in unison, there is no sabotage, and these are all ifs on both sides. Now, if all these are okay, then the BJP will hold on to its 80-90 seats. I think it's difficult. For the Congress to emerge as the party with a majority, I think the Congress not just has to defeat BJP, it also has to defeat the JDS. I think those 20-30 seats is going to be critical. I think BJP is already looking at JDS coming on their way. They're not making so much of an effort to go through and break through in that region beyond a particular point. I think the real battle is that Congress-JDS battle and how it's going to play out. And finally, one last thing, Shiv, do not forget the Yediyurappa-Siddaramaiah equation. These are two old war horses in both parties, who the parties want to replace, but they remain electorally, politically relevant. It doesn't work for them if either party gets a clear majority, and I'll leave it there.
Okay, very, very interesting, tantalizing, exciting election. Still 3 months away, but all of this is going to heighten as we get closer. Always a pleasure. Thank you very much to all of you for joining me here on Newstrack. Thank you so much, and look forward to having you back soon on many more discussions on the big state of war, Karnataka. We wrap up that discussion here, but we've got some breaking news coming in. News just in, there's been a bomb scare on a Delhi-Pune SpiceJet flight. The Delhi police has received a call about a bomb on a Pune-bound SpiceJet airline flight before takeoff. The CISF, that's the Central Industrial Security Force, and the Delhi police have been put on high alert. The flight is being checked at Delhi airport. This call was received just before takeoff. Arvind Oja is with us on the phone line. Arvind, एक बॉम्ब का फोन कॉल आया है दिल्ली पुणे का फ्लाइट पर, क्या जानकारी मिला है अभी तक?
देखिए, ये दिल्ली पुलिस को ये जानकारी मिली थी, किसी ने ये कॉल किया कि जो दिल्ली से पुणे जा रही है स्पाइस जेट की फ्लाइट, उसमें बॉम्ब है। जिसके बाद दिल्ली पुलिस, सीआईएसएफ और बाकी जो स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, सभी ने जो फ्लाइट है उसको रोका गया और उसकी तलाशी ली जा रही है। दिल्ली पुलिस फोर्सेस का कहना है कि अभी तक कुछ सस्पिशियस रिकवर नहीं हुआ है, लेकिन अभी भी जो सिक्योरिटी ड्रिल है, बाकी जो फोर्सेस हैं वो लगातार अभी वो सिक्योरिटी ड्रिल है वो जारी है लगातार। जो सर्च ऑपरेशन है वो अभी तक लगातार जारी है, लेकिन अभी तक कोई भी सस्पिशियस चीज अभी तक दिल्ली पुलिस ने रिकवर नहीं की है। दिल्ली पुलिस की टीम, सीआईएसएफ की टीम, बाकी जो एजेंसीज हैं वो फ्लाइट के पास ही मौजूद है।
अरविंद, ये दूसरा ऐसा इंसिडेंट है जिसमें एक बॉम्ब स्केयर का फोन कॉल मिला है एक किसी एयरलाइन को। क्या कुछ पैटर्न चल रहा है इसमें?
जी बिल्कुल, देखिए कई बार इस तरह का होता है। हॉक्स कॉल जो सोर्सेज है वो बताते हैं, कई बार जो पैसेंजर है वो फ्लाइट डिले होती है तो भी इस तरह की कॉल करते हैं, और कई बार हॉक्स कॉल भी आती है, कई बार सीरियस। लेकिन चूंकि ये एयरपोर्ट से जुड़ा मामला है, इस वजह से ये काफी सेंसिटिव कॉल होती है, जितनी भी कॉल्स आती है, और एजेंसी हर कॉल को वेरीफाई करती है। क्योंकि ये एक फ्लाइट में बॉम्ब की, इस वजह से दिल्ली पुलिस ने इसको काफी सीरियस लिया। सीआईएसएफ की टीम स्पॉट पर गई, बाकी जो स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, जो सिक्योरिटी से जुड़े ऑफिसर हैं, वो स्पॉट पर है। पूरे फ्लाइट की भी तलाशी ली गई है। जो सोर्सेज उनका कहना है कि कुछ भी अभी तक सस्पिशियस रिकवर नहीं हुआ है, लेकिन चूंकि मामला एयरपोर्ट से जुड़ा है इसलिए
Arvind, thank you for that information. We'll keep tracking the story. Arvind will update us when we get you more information on this bomb scare. The last bomb scare call turned out to be a hoax, but this one is still being investigated at the Delhi airport. We'll keep you updated on that. On the other side of this very short break here on Newstrack, suspended BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma has just acquired a gun license. This after several Sartan se juda threats she's been receiving over her controversial prophet remark last year, after which she was suspended from the BJP. There was widespread violence against her as well, and in her name. We'll tell you about it next.
News is about putting people first. Just look at the cues right across about asking the right questions to those in power. It takes no sides.
माँ का दर्द एक दर्द कोई नहीं समझ सकता उस दर्द को.
It reveals, it heals. Angry people came out on the streets. Is this the kind of justice system we want in this country? News is all heart and no hatred.
बिल्किस बानो आज क्या कहना चाहेगी आप?
हमारे साथ जो हुआ है किसी के साथ भी नहीं होना चाहिए.
Experience the news with me, Rajdeep Sardesai, only on India Today.
You're watching an India Today special broadcast being brought to you from the stunning ski resort of Klosters, Davos.
The 53rd World Economic Forum is back at the snow-clad slopes of Davos. The smartest minds gather to debate the world's biggest challenges: energy crisis, industry headwinds, geopolitical risks, social vulnerabilities. India Today and Business Today are at ground zero to bring you all the action. Catch top corporate tycoons, politicians and intellectuals as they discuss cooperation in a fragmented world. Watch the Davos brainstorm only on India Today and Business Today TV.
Former BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma has now got a license to carry a personal weapon, a personal firearm, after she received several death threats all through last year. Nupur Sharma has received numerous sartan se juda threats online and offline. In her application for the gun license, she stated that there was a threat to her immediate family as well. There were violent protests in India over Nupur Sharma's prophet remarks on a TV debate. At least two people, Kanhaiya Lal and Umesh Kole, were murdered for coming out in support of Nupur. Many persons were assaulted for showing solidarity with Nupur as well. And she has just managed to acquire a firearm license after claiming to have many death threats issued against her and her family. Nupur Sharma, remember, was suspended by the BJP after her comments went viral, sparking a huge international backlash from the Islamic world. Nupur Sharma has remained completely underground ever since her suspension. She has made no public appearances. Very recently, one picture of her emerged of a meeting with someone from the Sangh Parivar. But apart from that, her whereabouts, her location and her condition is not known to anyone just yet. That's the last picture we've seen of Nupur, which is from earlier this month with Vikas Pandey, who is an online influencer and runs the Hindu IT cell. I want to go across to India Today's Crime Bureau Chief Arvind Ojha for more on this. Arvind, ये gun license जो मिला है नूपुर शर्मा को, क्या था अभी तक, क्या का threat perception क्या था नूपुर के खिलाफ, उनके परिवार के खिलाफ, अरविंद?
देखिए, जो नूपुर शर्मा है उनको लेकर डेथ थ्रेट लगातार मिल रहे थे। ये वेल नोन फैक्ट है और कई जगह पर उनके खिलाफ एफआईआर भी रजिस्टर्ड हुई थी। लेकिन दिल्ली पुलिस की लाइसेंसिंग डिपार्टमेंट में कुछ दिन पहले ही नूपुर शर्मा की तरफ से एक एप्लीकेशन फाइल की गई थी और वेपन्स लाइसेंस की मांग की गई थी, जिसके बाद कल जो ये वेपन लाइसेंस है ये अप्रूव किया है दिल्ली पुलिस की लाइसेंसिंग डिपार्टमेंट ने। साथ ही साथ सोर्सेज ने ये भी बताया है कि सेल्फ डिफेंस के लिए नूपुर शर्मा ने ये वेपन लाइसेंस के लिए अप्लाई किया था, जो ग्रांट कर दिया गया है दिल्ली पुलिस की तरफ से। तो अब जो वो उनके पास वेपन लाइसेंस है और उन्होंने ये डिमांड खुद सेल्फ डिफेंस के लिए मांगी थी। जहां तक थ्रेट परसेप्शन की बात है कि पिछले दिनों जिस तरह से कंट्रोवर्सी हुई थी, उसके बाद सोशल मीडिया से लेकर उनको पर्सनल उनके नंबर पर भी लगातार डेथ थ्रेट दिए गए थे और जिसकी शिकायत उनके वकील ने भी की थी, जिसके बाद से ये माना जा रहा था और जिसके बाद से नूपुर शर्मा कहीं पब्लिक उनका अपीयरेंस आया भी नहीं है। लेकिन उन्होंने दिल्ली पुलिस की लाइसेंसिंग डिपार्टमेंट में ये एप्लीकेशन दी थी कि उन्हें गन लाइसेंस चाहिए, जिसके बाद दिल्ली पुलिस ने उन्हें ये ग्रांट कर दिया है।
Thanks very much, Arvind, for getting us the latest on Nupur Sharma acquiring that firearm license. Disturbing, new element to this story that's still very much on. Meanwhile, Bihar Education Minister made a remark that has sparked its own controversy. Chandrasekhar, while speaking at a university convocation, said that the Ramcharitramanas, a Hindu religious book, spreads hatred in society. The BJP, of course, has slammed the minister's remarks and demanded action against him. Here's the full story.
दूसरे युग में रामचरितमानस और तीसरे युग में गुरु गोवलकर का बंच ऑफ थॉट, ये दुनिया को नफरत, हमारे देश को, समाज को नफरत में बांटती है। नफरत देश को महान नहीं बनाएगा, जब भी कभी महान बनाएगा तो मोहब्बत ही बनाएगा।
These remarks by Bihar Education Minister Chandrasekhar have sparked a massive controversy. The minister, addressing the 15th convocation ceremony of the Nalanda Open University, claimed the Ramcharitramanas, the book written by Tulsidas that popularized Ramayana in the Hindi-speaking belt, created social divide.
ये जो ग्रंथ हैं नफरत को बोने वाले, एक युग में मनुस्मृति, दूसरे युग में रामचरितमानस और तीसरे युग में गुरु गोवलकर का बंच ऑफ थॉट, ये दुनिया को नफरत, हमारे देश को, समाज को नफरत में बांटती है। नीच जाति के लोगों को शिक्षा ग्रहण करने का अधिकार नहीं था और उसमें कहा गया है कि नीच जाति के लोग शिक्षा ग्रहण करके जहरीला हो जाते हैं, जैसा कि सांप दूध पीने के बाद होता है। मनुस्मृति को जलाने का क्यों काम किए? इसलिए कि मनुस्मृति में एक बड़े तबका के खिलाफ 85% लोगों के खिलाफ अनेकों गालियां दी गई। रामचरितमानस का क्यों प्रतिरोध हुआ? किस अंश का प्रतिरोध हुआ?
The remarks triggered a backlash from the BJP, while the JDU rushed to defend its minister.
ये बहुत ही बेशरम बयान है। शिक्षा मंत्री अशिक्षित तरीके से बात करते हैं।
हमारी सरकार की सबसे बड़ी प्राथमिकता है विकास, ना कि धर्म के आधार पर किसी भी प्रकार की राजनीति, जो कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की संस्कृति रही है।
मैं बड़ा साफ कर दूं, मैंने नहीं देखा उनका बयान, नहीं सुना है, मुझे नहीं मालूम उन्होंने कहाँ बोला, क्या बोला। पर एक चीज स्पष्ट कर दूं, रामचरितमानस, रामायण, गीता, ये हमारे पवित्रतम ग्रंथ हैं और ये सिर्फ एक जाति तक ही, एक धर्म तक नहीं, एक विचारधारा तक नहीं सीमित है।
ऐसे शिक्षा मंत्री क्या संदेश देंगे छात्रों को, और वो भी सार्वजनिक रूप से इस प्रकार के कॉन्वोकेशन के अंदर भाषण दे रहे हैं। तो नीतीश जी ऐसे शिक्षा मंत्री को तत्काल बर्खास्त कीजिए। बीजेपी इसको बिल्कुल भी बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगी।
Minister Chandrasekhar is defiant, claiming he said nothing wrong.
संपूर्ण नारी जाति को और वधिक समाज को जिस ग्रंथ के जिस अंश में अपमानित किया गया है, उसके खिलाफ मैं खड़ा।
Chief Minister Nitish Kumar bucked questions on the controversial statement.
हमको पता नहीं है, हम देखे नहीं है।
शिक्षा मंत्री ने बोला है कि ये
हो गया
होने वाला ग्रंथ
नहीं, हमको पता नहीं है, हम पूछ लेंगे उनसे।
The BJP, now separated from the JDU, is gunning for the Nitish government. The party, which is banking on consolidation of Hindu votes to fight the JDU-RJD alliance, is demanding action against Minister Chandrasekhar. But will Nitish bow to pressure and sack his minister? With Sujit Jha in Patna, Bureau Report, India Today.
And trouble mounts for Arvind Kejriwal as the Delhi government's Directorate of Information and Publicity has issued a notice to the Aam Aadmi Party for recovery of over 163 crore rupees, that whopping amount allegedly spent on the party's advertisements. Here's the full story.
Ads issued by the Delhi government have become the latest flashpoint between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Delhi Lieutenant Governor Vinay Kumar Saxena. Aam Aadmi Party has been served a notice for a recovery of 163.62 crore rupees for allegedly running its political campaign in the guise of government ads. The notice issued by the Delhi government's Directorate of Information and Publicity says the ad money was spent allegedly in violation of the Supreme Court's guidelines issued in 2015. The notice claims Aam Aadmi Party has to pay a principal amount of 99.31 crore rupees till March 2017 and an interest of 64.31 crore rupees. It warned that the Aam Aadmi Party's office would be sealed if the party does not deposit the money within 10 days. The notice comes nearly a month after the LG directed the Chief Secretary to recover 97 crore rupees from Aam Aadmi Party for allegedly publishing political ads with taxpayers' money. Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia has accused the LG of using government officials to target Aam Aadmi Party.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी असंवैधानिक रूप से इन अफसरों के ऊपर अपना कब्जा करके जमा के बैठी है और वो इसका दुरुपयोग करके इन अफसरों का इस्तेमाल कर रही है, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के खिलाफ राजनीतिक इस्तेमाल कर रही है.
The BJP mounted a scathing attack against Aam Aadmi Party, demanding that leaders of Delhi's ruling party should repay taxpayers every penny misused.
आम
आदमी पार्टी का खाता सीज किया जाए, क्योंकि ये पैसा आम आदमी पार्टी एक राजनीतिक पार्टी ने अपने के लिए खर्च किया तो वो पे करेगी। दूसरा, कहां से रिकवरी होगा? दूसरी रिकवरी होगी जितने लोगों का चेहरा चमका है उनके खातों से रिकवरी होगी।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के अलग अलग राज्यों के मुख्यमंत्रियों के विज्ञापनों से भरे पड़े हैं दिल्ली के अखबार। मध्य प्रदेश से लेके उत्तराखंड से लेके हिमाचल, उत्तर प्रदेश, हर जगह के कांग्रेस के भी मुख्यमंत्रियों के आपको दिल्ली के अखबारों में खूब ऐड मिलेंगे। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के देश भर के मुख्यमंत्रियों के आपको दिल्ली के अखबारों में ऐड मिलेंगे। अगर गलत है तो वो वहां के मुख्यमंत्रियों से वसूलेगी भारतीय जनता पार्टी वो पैसा।
The Supreme Court in 2015 had barred ruling parties from using pictures of their leaders in ads publicizing welfare schemes. But political parties have been openly violating the Supreme Court direction. Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, that's it on Newstrack. Thanks so much for watching News Today with Rajdeep. Comes up next.
The IMF sees India as a bright spot in the global economy. The World Bank says that India is in a better position to deal with global headwinds than many other countries. This is because of India's strong macroeconomic fundamentals. OECD has said that India will be among the fastest growing economies in the G20 group this year. According to Morgan Stanley, India is moving towards becoming the world's third largest economy in the next 4 or 5 years. The CEO of McKinsey had said that this is not only India's decade, but India's century. Institutions and credible voices that track the global economy have unprecedented confidence in India. The same optimism is also shared by global investors.
I would say that we have done a lot of reforms on the direct taxes. The corporate tax have been brought down to 22%, and new manufacturing units that are set up to 24 March will only pay 15% tax. So that's a good, it's stabilized. Maybe some reforms are needed on the personal income tax also, because the tax rates go up from 5% to 30%, and then there are a number of surcharges there and a lot of exemptions are there. So maybe we need to tinker with some of these provisions. It may give relief to some people and may not give relief to some other people. But yes, there is a need to simplify the tax rates. There is a need to simplify the process of the personal income tax. Now, if they say a relief. I don't know what exactly CII means in terms of relief, because if you look at tax to GDP ratio for our country, we are still very low, and there's a need to have more taxes. But yes, I agree to this front, and I am of a strong view that our taxes should not come from increasing the tax rates, but from expanding the tax base. So our efforts should be there. So all these efforts and capital gains tax also, we need to do something on that. If we do all that, I think it will give relief to some people and also ensure simplification of tax rates.
You're watching an India Today special broadcast being brought to you from the stunning ski resort of Klosters, Davos.
The 53rd World Economic Forum is back at the snow-clad slopes of Davos. The smartest minds gather to debate the world's biggest challenges: energy crisis, industry headwinds, geopolitical risks, social vulnerabilities. India Today and Business Today are at ground zero to bring you all the action. Catch top corporate tycoons, politicians and intellectuals as they discuss cooperation in a fragmented world. Watch the Davos brainstorm only on India Today and Business Today TV.
So sorry.
Tonight at 9 p.m. on the news today with me, Rajdeep Sardesai. Courts cannot dilute the sovereignty of Parliament, claims Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, wading into the growing debate between the judiciary and the executive. Is the Modi government spoiling for a fight with the judiciary? Is the big talking point on the news today. Also on the show, we'll have the latest ground report from Joshimath, where demolitions are set to take place. And we'll tell you just why parents of children with rare diseases are desperately seeking the help of government and civil society. All that and much more on the news today.
It's 2023, and India remains the sole shining star in the global economy. So what lies ahead as the Modi government prepares its last full budget before the 2024 general elections? Join the biggest names in business journalism, decoding the jargon with the biggest newsmakers. From the most credible, in-depth analysis of Budget 2023, turn into Modinomics 2023 through the month. Only on India Today and Business Today Television, gold standard of business journalism.
Co-presented by Star Health Insurance, the health insurance specialist. Co-powered by Green Lamb Laminates, Kuch Mera, Kuch Tumhara. Co-powered by the bold look of Cola. Co-powered by Samsonite, tested like Samsonite. Indian Oil, pehle Indian, phir oil.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today. This is your prime time destination, news, newsmakers, talking points. Thursday night, the big talking point, Vice President Dhankar has hit out at the judiciary, sparking off another potential conflict between the Modi government and the apex court. We're going to raise that tonight. Also, the demolitions have begun in Joshimath. We'll have a ground report and what lies ahead. Plenty to look forward to on the show, but first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9. Demolition begins at one of the 2 hotels that were marked unsafe in Joshimath. A JCB is brought in as emotional locals leave their homes. More cracks are now discovered in nearby towns across the Himalayas. Prime Minister Modi makes a youth outreach in Hubballi in Karnataka. On Vivekananda's birth anniversary, pays tribute to Kannada legend, says runway is ready for young Indians to take off. The Aam Aadmi Party asked to pay 163 crores for political ads at the cost of exchequer from 2016 to 17. This after an LG order to Delhi government's Directorate of Information and Publicity. Suspended BJP Neta Nupur Sharma now gets a gun license. This after several Santan se juda threats she received over her prophet remarks. India's capital gets the chill. Cold wave conditions predicted to intensify. Temperature could drop to as low as -4 in parts of North India. Bomb scare on spice jets. Delhi-Pune flight at T3 airport. Police say nothing suspicious found so far. Security drill on as per protocol. Weeks after the Tawang clash, Army Chief speaks on the LAC status, says the situation on northern borders is stable but unpredictable. Consumer price inflation for the month of December eases